Once upon a time, in a small village called Mtunzini, there lived a kind woman named Zanele. Zanele was loved by everyone in the village because she always helped those in need. She had a heart of gold and never asked for anything in return. Despite her kindness, Zanele was sad because she could not have children of her own. She and her husband, Thabo, had tried for so many years, but it seemed that having a baby was not meant to be. Even though this made her sad, Zanele never let it show. She continued to help others and bring joy to the village. One stormy night, as Zanele was walking home from helping an elderly neighbor, she heard a faint cry coming from the bushes. Curious and concerned, she followed the sound until she found a small baby wrapped in a blanket. The baby was alone and crying. Zanele's heart ached for the little one. She gently picked up the baby and looked around to see if anyone was nearby, but no one was in sight. Zanele decided to take the baby home with her. She named the baby boy Sipho, which means gift in Zulu, because she believed he was a gift sent to her. Thabo was surprised but happy to see the baby. They both agreed to raise Sipho as their own. From that day on, Zanele's house was filled with laughter and joy. Sipho grew up to be a cheerful and kind-hearted boy, just like his adoptive mother. Years passed and Sipho noticed how much his mother cared for everyone in the village. She would cook food for the hungry, make clothes for the poor, and take care of the sick. One day he asked her, "Mama, why do you help everyone so much?" Zanele smiled and replied, "Sipho, when we help others, we make a world a better place. A kind heart can change many lives." Sipho nodded, understanding his mother's wisdom. He decided he wanted to be just like her. He started helping his friends and neighbors, doing small acts of kindness every day. One day, a severe drought hit Mtunzini. The crops dried up and there was no water in the river. The villagers were worried and scared. Zanele knew she had to do something to help her people. She gathered the villagers and said, "We must stay strong and support each other. Together, we can overcome this challenge." Zanele and Thabo shared their food and water with the villagers. They worked together to dig a new well in hopes of finding water. Weeks passed and everyone grew tired and weary, but Zanele never gave up hope. One night, as Zanele was sitting by the fire, she saw a bright star shining in the sky. She closed her eyes and made a wish. She wished for rain to save her village. The next morning, dark clouds filled the sky, and soon rain began to pour. The villagers danced and sang with joy, grateful for the blessing of water. Sipho ran to his mother and hugged her tightly. "Mama, your wish came true. You saved our village," he exclaimed. Zanele smiled with tears in her eyes. "No, Sipho, it was our kindness and unity that saved us. When we work together and care for each other, we can overcome any challenge." Just as everything seemed to be back to normal, an unexpected visitor arrived in the village. A wealthy and powerful man, Mr. Dlamini, who was known for his greed and ruthlessness, came with a group of armed men. He claimed that the land on which Mtunzini was built belonged to his ancestors and demanded that the villagers leave immediately. The villagers were terrified and pleaded with Mr. Dlamini to let them stay, but he was unmoved. He gave them 3 days to vacate the village. Panic spread among the people and they turned to Zanele for guidance. Zanele, with her heart full of courage and determination, determined to confront Mr. Dlamini, she walked up to his grand tent and said, Mr. Dlamini, we have lived on this land for generations. We have built our lives here. Please have mercy on us. Mr. Dlamini sneered and replied, Mercy? You think I care about your lives? This land is mine and I will do with it as I please. Zanele did not back down. You may have power and wealth, but you do not have the love and respect of these people. We will not leave our home. Angered by her defiance, Mr. Dlamini ordered his men to seize Zanele. Just as they were about to grab her, a loud cry rang out. Sipho, along with other children of the village, stood in front of Zanele, forming a protective circle around her. You will not take our mother, Sipho shouted. The villagers, inspired by the bravery of the children, joined in. They stood together, refusing to be moved. Mr. Dlamini, seeing their unity and determination, hesitated. He realized he could not break their spirit. In that moment, the sky darkened, and a strong wind began to blow. The villagers looked up to see storm clouds gathering once again. Thunder roared, and lightning flashed across the sky. It was as if nature herself was coming to their aid. Mr. Dlamini, frightened by the sudden change in weather, decided to leave. This is not over, he warned before retreating with his men. The villagers cheered and celebrated their victory, but Zanele knew that the danger was not completely gone. She gathered the villagers and said, We must continue to stand together. Our unity is our strength. As the rain began to pour once more, a sense of hope filled the hearts of the villagers. They knew that as long as they had each other and the love and kindness of Zanele, they could face any challenge that came their way. And so the village of Mtunzini thrived under the watchful eye of the mother, who was barren but had a heart of gold. But little did they know, their greatest challenge was yet to come. One evening, as the villagers were gathered around a fire, celebrating their newfound unity, a mysterious old woman named Nandi arrived. She was known to be a wise healer who lived in the deep forest, seldom seen by the villagers. Nandi's eyes twinkled with knowledge and secrets as she approached Zanele. I have heard of your kindness and bravery, Zanele, Nandi said, her voice soft yet powerful. But I come with a warning. Dark times are approaching, and your strength will be tested like never before. Zanele, though worried, stood tall and asked, What must we do, Nandi? How can we protect our village? Nandi handed Zanele a small, intricately carved wooden box. Inside this box is a powerful amulet. It is said to protect the bearer and their loved ones from harm. But be warned, its power can only be harnessed by someone with a pure heart. Use it wisely. Zanele accepted the box with gratitude and curiosity. She opened it to find a beautiful amulet, glowing with an ethereal light. She felt a warm sensation as she held it, knowing it was a gift of great importance. The following days were peaceful, but the villagers remained vigilant, aware of Nandi's warning. Zanele kept the amulet close, feeling its power and hoping it would be enough to safeguard their home. One night, a strange and eerie silence fell over Mtunzini. Zanele awoke with a start, sensing something was wrong. She quickly woke Thabo and Sipho, and together they stepped outside to investigate. While they saw left them breathless with fear, a thick unnatural fog had enveloped the village. Shadows moved within it, and whispers filled the air. The villagers, now awake and frightened, gathered around Zanele, seeking her guidance. Suddenly, out of the fog emerged a dark figure. It was Mr. Dlamini, but he was not alone. He had brought with him a powerful sorcerer named Mvubu, known for his malevolent magic and thirst for destruction. Mvubu raised his staff and the ground beneath their feet began to tremble. "You thought you could defy me?" Mr. Dlamini sneered. "This land will be mine, and you will all pay for your insolence." Zanele, clutching the amulet, stepped forward. "We will not let you take our home, Mr. Dlamini. We are united, and we will fight for our village." Vubu laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the fog. "Your unity means nothing against my magic," he taunted, raising his staff higher. Dark energy crackled around it, ready to strike. Zanele closed her eyes and held the amulet tightly. She felt its warmth spread through her body, filling her with courage and determination. "Great spirits of the land, hear my plea," she whispered. "Protect us from this evil." As she spoke, the amulet began to glow brighter, illuminating the fog and pushing it back. The villagers, inspired by Zanele's bravery, joined hands and began to chant, their voices rising in unison. Vubu's magic clashed with the light of the amulet, creating a dazzling display of power. The ground shook and the air crackled with energy, but Zanele stood firm, her heart filled with the strength of her love for her village and her people. The battle raged on, the outcome uncertain. The villagers held their breath, hoping and praying that Zanele's pure heart would be enough to save them. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light erupted from the amulet, engulfing Mvubu and Mr. Dlamini. When the light faded, the sorcerer was gone, and Mr. Dlamini lay unconscious on the ground. The fog lifted, and the village was safe once more. Zanele, exhausted but triumphant, collapsed to her knees. The villagers rushed to her side, lifting her up and cheering for their brave mother. Sipho hugged her tightly, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Mama, you did it! You saved us!" Zanele smiled weakly, holding her son close. "No, Sipho, we saved each other. Our love and unity protected us." But as the villagers celebrated their victory, a new shadow loomed on the horizon. A figure watched from afar, eyes gleaming with malice. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Days turned into weeks, and peace seemed to return to Mtunzini. However, Zanele could not shake off the feeling that something was still wrong. One day, while tending to her garden, Nandi reappeared looking more troubled than before. "Zanele," Nandi began, "the amulet's power is strong, but it has awakened something darker in the forest. There's a creature, an ancient spirit of vengeance, that has been disturbed. It seeks to destroy all who stand in its way." Zanele felt a chill run down his spine. "What must we do, Nandi? How can we protect our village from this new threat?" Nandi handed Zanele a small pouch filled with herbs and whispered, "These herbs can ward off the spirit temporarily. You must journey to the sacred mountain and seek the help of the spirit guardian. Only they can permanently seal the creature away." Zanele knew this would be a dangerous journey, but she also knew it was the only way to save her village. She gathered Thabo, Sipho, and a few brave villagers, and together they set off towards the sacred mountain. The journey was treacherous. They crossed rivers, climbed steep cliffs, and navigated dense forests. Along the way, they encountered strange creatures and faced many challenges. But Zanele's determination never wavered. She kept the amulet close, its light guiding them through the darkest paths. One night, as they camped at the base of the mountain, they heard the haunting wail of the ancient spirit. It was close, Zanele sprinkled the herbs around their camp, creating a protective barrier. The spirit's wails grew louder, but it could not break through the barrier. The villagers huddled together, their fear palpable. "We must reach the top of the mountain by sunrise," Nandi had warned them. "The spirit guardian will only appear at dawn." With renewed determination, they continued their climb. As the first light of dawn began to break, they reached the summit. There, standing majestically, was the spirit guardian, a being of pure light and wisdom. Zanele stepped forward and bowed deeply. "Great spirit guardian, we seek your help to seal away the ancient spirit of vengeance and protect our village." The spirit guardian gazed at Zanele with kind eyes. "Your heart is pure, Zanele, and your love for your people is strong. I will help you." The guardian raised their hands, and a powerful light emanated from them, enveloping the mountain and the surrounding forest. The ancient spirit appeared, thrashing and wailing, but it was no match for the spirit guardian's power. With a final deafening roar, the spirit was sealed away and peace was restored to the land. The villagers cheered, their hearts filled with gratitude and relief. The spirit guardian turned to Zanele and said, "You have shown great courage and love. Remember, it is not the amulet that holds the true power, but the purity of your heart." As they made their way back to Mtunzini, the villagers knew they had witnessed something extraordinary. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious, all thanks to the mother who was barren but had a heart of gold. Zanele returned to her life of kindness and service, her heart even more open and loving than before. Sipho grew up to be a wise and compassionate leader, inspired by his mother's example. And the village of Mtunzini thrived forever, grateful for their courage and love for their golden-hearted mother.